Rising Sophomore Abroad program is basically just a class you'll take. You sign up, you take it in the spring of your freshman year, and it basically just goes about learning about like how global engineering as a whole works. And so I feel like before that I took that class, like I had a pretty big misconception that like engineering was pretty universal worldwide, but that class really helps you also with learning how to communicate with people like from different backgrounds, learning how to like change your mindset when working on a team like the wind turbine team, or like when you actually have a job, being able to kind of understand that everyone comes from a different place, and so you're gonna have to be able to adapt and like be able to kind of accommodate to whatever their needs are, as well as like change your mindset or change your thinking to help kind of be more I guess in line with theirs. And so that class really kind of like opened my eyes to being able to try to go into like every communication situation or any like team situation with an open mind, and really kind of just try to like, before we do like any designing or things like that, trying to understand like people's backgrounds, where they may be coming from. And that also allowed me to kind of like be more efficient when I do have like team projects or go into the design team and things like that. And so after the class, over the summer, you go to 2 different countries in 2 weeks. So you spend a week in each country, and you kind of go to like university visits, company visits, and it's all through Virginia Tech. So you get more of like a behind the scenes than you would if you were just going to these places as like a tourist. And you also get to learn about like how engineering works in these different countries. It was one of the best experiences I think I've had here. I've never, before that, I had never been out of the country. I knew I wanted to do it when I found out about it. And the fact that like you do get more of that like behind the scenes of seeing like, or you get more like private tours, and you get to see like other schools overseas. And as far as like Spain goes as well, it's definitely really eye-opening to see like how different engineering is all over the world. I feel like every country probably has their own like process to it, or their own way of teaching it. And even that could even be said for like different states here in the US. So I think being able to like really be able to see kind of how different it can be also helped like reinforce the fact of like going into team projects with like open minds, and kind of just reinforce everything that we learned about in the class. And so I think it was one of the best like decisions I ever made to go on that trip, or to do that program, just because it opened my eyes to a lot, and also I think it helped me mature a little bit as like being able to like travel on my own overseas or with like a small group. So it's still very structured. Like you have an itinerary that you have to go on and things like that. So you're getting a good mixture of going on like these company visits and like things that are more like school related, and then also you're still getting a lot of like the tourist activities, like touring these like grand sites that are pretty world renowned and things like that. So it's definitely a good mixture, and they do a good job of keeping it like, okay, we're here for a reason, but we're also not going to ignore the fact that we're in a different country and you guys want to see a lot of different things. So it was definitely a good experience. Another thing they do that's pretty cool is making you like write a journal for each like destination that you're at. So they usually try to do like 2, maybe like 3 cities per country. You would have to like write like a little journal entry about like the things you did and like how it impacted you, or like what you learned in that area. And I think that may also be like a good lesson that I took away from it, because I feel like journaling like as a habit can be like really beneficial for your mental health and things like that. And I think that I'm gonna at least try to keep journaling like anytime I go like on a vacation or I travel, just because I feel like that's a good thing to do. My favorite memory from like the whole trip was just, there was one day in Spain where we went on like this long hike through like Granada, and that's in like the southern part of Spain. And it was really just like honestly beautiful to be able to like, we started like on a mountain, and then we walked down into the town and into the city. And that was probably my favorite day from the whole trip, just because of obviously like all the sightseeing, but also just being able to be like with my friends in the program and kind of just like experiencing that. It really kind of like let it all set in for me.